Want to speak real Filipino from your first lesson? Sign up for your free lifetime account at filipinopod101.com.
Want to finally learn Filipino the fast, fun, and easy way? In this video, I'll show you the top 10 ways to get started. So let's begin. Number 1. Take your very first lesson. Access any audio or video lesson on filipinopod101.com and just press the play button to get started. Don't have an account? Don't worry. Just go to the sign-up page to create an account. It takes less than 30 seconds, and it's free. We have thousands of audio and video lessons covering a variety of topics like grammar, pronunciation, listening, and reading. Just click on the play button on any lesson and start learning. Number 2. Read along with the lesson. You can read along with the lesson notes or lesson transcript. These come with every lesson. The lesson notes provide you with the dialogue for the scene taught in the lesson, along with translations, a more in-depth explanation of the grammar and culture, and even vocab and sample sentences. The lesson transcript is the full word-for-word transcript of everything you hear in the lesson. And the dialogue study tool provides you with the audio for the lesson dialogue, along with the translations. Number 3. Shadowing. Shadowing is a tested learning technique where you repeat what you hear. This is a great way to start speaking in minutes and practice speaking in general. If you're listening along with the lesson audio or dialogue, be sure to shadow along the way. Number 4. Use the dialogue study tool to master the conversation. Here, you get the line-by-line breakdown of the conversation demonstrated in the lesson. Listen and repeat until you've mastered each line. Do this until you've mastered the entire conversation. Number 5. Use the voice recorder to perfect your pronunciation and speaking. In the dialogue study tool, you'll find a microphone icon next to each line. Click on it to record your voice. Then, compare it with the native speakers. Listen and adjust your pronunciation until you match that of the native speaker. Number 6. Review vocab with the lesson vocabulary list. Vocabulary words are the building blocks of language. You can save vocab words taught in each lesson by clicking on Add to Word Bank. Want to drill the words with smart flashcards instead? Just click on Add to Flashcard Deck to do so. Number 7. Listen to the review track. If you've studied an audio lesson before, just listen to the review track so that you don't have to listen through the entire lesson again. This is a great way to reinforce the material that you've learned, and it's great to have on the go. Just access any audio lesson and click on the download icon. Then click Review to download the review track. Number 8. Review with quizzes after the lesson. Once you're confident enough with the material taught in the lesson, be sure to take the quiz to test your newfound knowledge. Take the review questions and answer true or false for each one. Or take the writing questions and input your answer. Remember to check the answers by clicking on the Check Answers button. Number 9. Participate and leave a comment. The best way to master what you've learned is to use it. Join the community of learners by leaving a comment below at the end of every lesson. Our dedicated teachers will check your responses to correct you on any mistakes or provide you with helpful study tips and advice. And finally, number 10. Move on to the next lesson. Done with a lesson? Mark the lesson as complete. You can see your overall learning progress on your dashboard. If you particularly enjoyed the lesson, mark the lesson as Favorite so that you can come back to it later at any time. Click on the forward arrow to move on to the next lesson and continue learning. If you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share it with anyone who's trying to learn Filipino, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. Remember, you can sign up to filipinopod101.com by clicking on the link in the description. Sign up takes less than 30 seconds, and it's free. I'll see you next time. Bye!
In this lesson, you're going to learn how to introduce yourself in Filipino. Are you ready? Here we go. Kamusta? Ako si Erica. Kinagagalak kong makilala ka. Hi, I'm Erica. It's nice to meet you. Kamusta? Ako si Erica. Kinagagalak kong makilala ka. Did you get it? Let's take it step by step. Start by saying, Kamusta? This means, how are you? But is commonly used to say, hi in Filipino. Next, say, ako si, I am, and then your name. My name is Erica, so I'll say, ako si Erica. Finally, say, kinagagalak kong makilala ka. This means, it's nice to meet you. Kinagagalak kong makilala ka. Kamusta? Ako si Erica. Kinagagalak kong makilala ka. Next, we're going to learn how to introduce ourselves in formal Filipino. But first, I'll teach you 2 words that turns any Filipino sentence formal. They are po and opo. Po, opo. All Filipinos learn these 2 words when they are young because they are a must when speaking politely to those who are older. Now here's how to introduce yourself in formal Filipino. Kamusta po? Ako si Erica Reyes. Kinagagalak ko po kayong makilala. How are you? I'm Erica Reyes. It's nice to meet you. Kamusta po? Ako si Erica Reyes. Kinagagalak ko po kayong makilala. Did you notice the word po in this introduction? Let's compare it with the informal introduction we learned earlier. First, we have kamusta po instead of just kamusta. As we've said before, kamusta means how are you and has essentially the same use as hi in English. It comes from the Spanish phrase ¿cómo está? We add the word po to this to make it polite. For the next sentence, there is no need to change ako si or I am. However, saying your full name is considered more formal. In the Philippines, we say our first names first and last names last. Finally, pay attention to the ending. We went from kinagagalak kong makilala ka to kinagagalak ko po kayong makilala. Ka or you is changed to the plural pronoun kayo to make the sentence more formal. The pronoun is moved to the front of the verb, and ng is added to connect the words. Finally, we also add po to the sentence to show respect. One more time. The informal way to introduce yourself in Filipino is, kamusta? Ako si Erica. Kinagagalak kong makilala ka. The formal way to introduce yourself is, kamusta po? Ako si Erica Reyes. Kinagagalak ko po kayong makilala. Now it's time for Erica's tips. Have you gotten hold of saying, kinagagalak kong makilala ka? Well, you might be surprised, but Filipinos say, nice to meet you, more often than its Filipino counterpart. This is because many English words and phrases are used in daily conversation since English is the second official language of the Philippines. Filipinos also shake hands during first meetings, just like in many Western cultures. But of course, if you use the proper Filipino introduction, your new Filipino friends will definitely be impressed.
May isang guro at isang mag-aaral na nag-uusap. Kailan pupunta ang mag-aaral sa opisina ng guro? Hindi ko po talaga naintindihan lahat ng tinalakay sa klase kanina.
Sige, mayroon ka bang mga tanong?
Opo, medyo marami po. May oras po ba kayo ngayon?
Medyo abala ako ngayon eh. Pumunta ka na lang sa aking opisina mamayang hapon. Andoon ako mula alauna hanggang alas 4 ng hapon.
Ayos po, asahan niyo po ako ng alas 2. Kailan pupunta ang mag-aaral sa opisina ng guro? May isang guro at isang mag-aaral na nag-uusap. Kailan pupunta ang mag-aaral sa opisina ng guro? Hindi ko po talaga naintindihan lahat ng tinalakay sa klase kanina.
Sige, mayroon ka bang mga tanong?
Opo, medyo marami po. May oras po ba kayo ngayon?
Medyo abala ako ngayon eh. Pumunta ka na lang sa aking opisina mamayang hapon. Andoon ako mula alauna hanggang alas 4 ng hapon.
Ayos po, asahan niyo po ako ng alas 2.
In this lesson, we are going to learn numbers in Filipino. That's right, numbers, mga numero. And you are going to learn them in only 3 minutes, 3 minuto. Are you ready? Let's start. Isa. Isa. Dalawa. Dalawa. Tatlo. Tatlo. Apat. Apat. Lima. Lima. Anim. Anim. Pito. Pito. Walo. Walo. Siyam. Siyam. Sampu. Sampu. Okay, now repeat after me. I'll say the numbers and give you time to repeat each one. Isa. Dalawa. Tatlo. Apat. Lima. Anim. Pito. Walo. Siyam. Sampu. Great job! Try to remember these numbers by heart because you'll see them again in bigger numbers. Do you know what is before isa? Here's a clue. It's almost the same as in English. It's zero. Zero. Now let's continue from 11. Labing isa. Labing isa. Labindalawa. Labindalawa. Labintatlo. Labintatlo. Labing apat. Labing apat. Labinlima. Labinlima. Labing anim. Labing anim. Labimpito. Labimpito. Labing walo. Labing walo. Labinsyam. Labinsyam. These numbers may seem longer and harder to remember, but they basically follow a simple rule, which is labi plus connector plus the numbers 1 to 9. In Filipino, the connector is usually NA if the letter before it is a consonant, and NG if the letter before it is a vowel. In this case, since labi ends with I, then we'll be using the NG connector. However, NG sometimes changes its form depending on the letter that follows it. For the letters D, L, R, S, and T, the G from NG is dropped to make it easier to pronounce. Labindalawa, labintatlo, labinlima, and labinsyam. If a P follows the NG connector, the NG becomes an M, just like in labimpito. Now it's time for Erica's tips. Filipinos don't exclusively use the Filipino way of counting. As I've said before, English is commonly used in the Philippines, so it is very common for us to count in English as well. But that's not all. Sometimes, we even use the Spanish way of counting, especially when telling the time.
You are at a bus terminal where you're attempting to buy a ticket from a ticket counter. There are 4 different counters. Which counter should you line up at to go to the south side of the city? Which counter should you line up at to go to the south side of the city? The third counter is the counter for bus tickets that go to the south side of the city.
Para sa timog na bahagi ng syudad.
You are at a bus terminal where you've just bought a long-distance ticket. Which row and seat number are you in? Which row and seat number are you in? The ticket says that you're in the 8th row in seat C.
Ikawalo na hilera, upuan C.
You are at a bus terminal where you're reading the schedule for long-distance buses. On which days are there no buses running? On which days are there no buses running? There are no buses running on public holidays and the 3rd Sunday of every month.
Pampublikong holiday, ikatlong linggo ng bawat buwan.
You are at a bus stop where you're waiting for the 301 bus. There is a notice posted on the bus timetable. What does the notice say? What does the notice say? The notice reads, "The 301 bus does not stop here."
Ang 301 bus ay hindi tumitigil dito.
You just got off a bus at a bus terminal and you're looking to catch a taxi. Which direction should you go to get to the taxi rank? Which direction should you go to get to the taxi rank? You should head east to get to the taxi rank.
Silangan.
In this lesson, we'll learn some of the most common greetings used in the Philippines. Handa na ba kayo? Are you ready? Then let's start. First, we'll learn the greetings we use when meeting people. Kamusta? Kamusta. Do you remember this from the first lesson? Kamusta literally means, how are you? But it is used as hi or hello. Musta is a shortened version of kamusta, which you can use when greeting friends. Musta, for formal situations, we use kamusta po. Kamusta po. Now, here are sometimes specific greetings used when meeting people. Magandang araw. Magandang araw. Literally, magandang araw means good day. To be more specific about which time in the day we greet someone, we use magandang umaga, magandang tanghali, and magandang hapon, meaning good morning, good noon, and good afternoon respectively. Magandang umaga. Magandang tanghali. Magandang hapon. During the evening, there is only one greeting, and that is magandang gabi. Magandang gabi. Maganda means beautiful or good. The connector NG is added to connect maganda and gabi. In formal situations, you just need to add po to the Filipino greetings I've already mentioned. Magandang araw po, magandang umaga po, magandang tanghali po, magandang hapon po, magandang gabi po. Are you ready for more? Next are some greetings we use when leaving. To say goodbye in Filipino, we say paalam. Paalam. We also have sige mauna na ako. Literally, all right, I'll go ahead. And it's a more casual way of saying goodbye. Sige mauna na ako. Finally, we have hanggang sa muli, meaning see you again. Hanggang sa muli. Again, to make these formal, we just need to add po. Paalam po. Sige, mauna na po ako. Hanggang sa muli po. Now you can greet people in many different ways in Filipino. Let's review them all again. Here are the greetings we use when meeting people. Kamusta? Magandang araw. Magandang umaga. Magandang tanghali. Magandang hapon. Magandang gabi. When leaving, we have paalam. Sige, mauna na ako. Hanggang sa muli. For greeting people who are older than you, just add po. It's easy, isn't it? Now it's time for Erica's tips. Another famous greeting you might hear in the Philippines is mabuhay. This literally means live, but it's used to mean welcome. It is used in formal situations like when welcoming an audience during events, or when welcoming people into the country, but not necessarily when welcoming guests to your home.
May isang babae at isang lalaki na tumitingin sa menu sa isang kainan. Ano ang o-orderin ng lalaki?
Ano ang orderin mo?
Mukhang masarap ang pizza. Sa palagay ko, yun ang o-orderin ko.
Nagpizza ako kahapon. Kaya
Okay, ano kaya kung hamburger?
mukhang masarap. Sige, yun ang orderin ko.
Ano ang o-orderin ng lalaki? May isang babae at isang lalaki na tumitingin sa menu sa isang kainan. Ano ang o-orderin ng lalaki?
Ano ang orderin mo?
Mukhang masarap ang pizza. Sa palagay ko, yun ang o-orderin ko.
Nagpizza ako kahapon. Kaya
Okay, ano kaya kung hamburger?
mukhang masarap. Sige, yun ang orderin ko.